Hi everyone, Ruth here, and I want to share with you some ways that we can overcome, or we can face and overcome our challenges. Um, Challenges are, those things we face, whether they're voluntary or involuntary. Most of us have had to deal with challenges like figuring out, how we're going to get our bills paid after we've lost our job, when there's no income coming in. How we're going to get from point A to point B when our car's broken down and we have, transportation needs of others that we have to provide. And then there are challenges like losing weight, improving our business, getting an educational degree. Whatever the challenge, I'm going to share with you 5 ways that I think will help you face and overcome some of those challenges. Whatever the challenges are, first thing that you'll need to do is decide that you're going to face the challenge. Decide that you're going to win, that you're going to overcome, because sometimes we just have to have that right mindset when we're approaching something. Sometimes when we're in a challenge, you want to give up before we even get started. And, but in order to overcome a challenge, though, you got to decide that you're going to do it. Because sometimes, if you don't really have your mind made up, then you most likely are not going to even get started. You're not even going to be in the right frame of mind to even want to do it. And the second thing will be to get some energy. Because sometimes we go into these situations and sometimes problems can seem so big that they actually do physically deplete your energy. And not only physically, but it can also affect you mentally when it comes to that energy and that motivation. And I can attest to that. There are things I've faced that, I look at them like, oh my gosh, But, I had to make up my mind. I said, you know what? I'm going to get it done. And, some of the things something that really helped me to get the energy to face some of my challenges would be exercise. It may seem, a little strange when it comes to challenges, but exercise do give you that energy. And I found that when I took the time to work out, I had more energy, and this motivated me to start my challenge. A third thing would be to take small steps at a time. Take one bite at a time. It sounds simple, but you'll be surprised at the number of people who actually try tackling large things and trying to get it all done as quickly as possible, only to end up being frustrated. Sometimes, we do want to go ahead and tackle things and get it out of the way. But then sometimes things are so big, and sometimes, things can be such a struggle that, we have a tendency to just kind of get tired and frustrated. And sometimes it can also lead to confusion because you got so much on your plate. But taking small steps is a great way to begin any challenge, any task. Some people they like to tackle the smallest or the easiest things first. And some people like to, get the hardest things out of the way, A fourth thing would be to write things down. Writing down your challenges, write down what you want to accomplish, the time period you want to get it accomplished, write down, how you intend to face the challenge, it may help also to write down how you feel about the challenge that you're about to undertake. Writing things down will help you remember what needs to be done, and it also will remind you, what you need to focus on. Writing down things or writing down your activities during a challenge will also help you see where you are how close you are to getting things done. And it'll help you also, look at those, spot those problem areas that you may need to work harder on. And it can give you kind of ideas, different ideas, to tackle your challenges. Maybe you're doing it, one way, and then you see where your problem is, and then you'll say, oh, you know what? I can do it this way instead of that way, and it'll make it easier, to get it done. A fifth thing would be to know yourself. I think that this is one of the biggest and most important things in any challenge, really, especially when you're facing things and you're not quite sure how you're going to do it. You're not quite sure what you're willing to sacrifice. It is good to know what your limitations are. You can't face a challenge like the next person can. We all have our ways of dealing with our challenges, and we have to know what we're willing to sacrifice and what we're not willing to sacrifice. I heard this story. I heard some people talking about this guy who he set this challenge. He had this challenge that he had set for himself concerning making money. And it was concerning a business that he had that wasn't doing very well. And, he decided that he would stay up night and day. And, until he got to a certain point financially, as well as other things that were going on in his business. He wanted to reach a certain number of clients or whatnot. But he got little to no sleep for several months. And, he not only had a business that he was doing, but he had a full-time day job. Plus, he had a wife and kids. And, he wanted to not only prove to himself that he could do it, but he was determined that he wanted to make a certain amount of income so he could quit his day job. And it took him a little longer than planned, but he eventually did quit his job. But in the meantime, during that time period, he not only sacrificed his health by not getting, the needed sleep. Of course, he lost a lot of weight because he wasn't eating as well. But he also sacrificed his family time. He put his family kind of on the back burner for a little bit. I guess his mindset was, when I get to this certain point, then, I'll make up for lost time. But really, time is something that you really can't get back. That's something that you really can't get back. And sometimes, when it comes to family time, sometimes it's just not a wise thing to sacrifice when it comes to certain things. He ultimately ended up with some domestic problems and things like that. And even though, if I'm not mistaken, he was able to work that out, him and his wife worked things out or whatever. But, in my opinion, that was a little unhealthy. But, everybody, that's not for everyone to do. Everybody may not have that understanding partner or spouse or whatever. But fortunately for him, it worked out on a positive note. But that's why it's so important that we need to know ourselves and know our limitations, and to understand, what we're willing to sacrifice and what we're not willing to sacrifice. Challenges, no matter how hard they are, or no matter how big problems may seem, they can be faced with the right mindset and proper planning and the right motivation. And sometimes we even have to solicit help from someone else. We may have to get help from others at times, depending on what it is that we're facing. And hopefully, whatever problems and challenges that you're facing today, hopefully that some of the things that I've shared with you today will be able to help you on your journey, and be able to help you face, some of the challenges that you may be about to embark upon, or maybe in the middle of right now. If you like this video and this video helped you out a little bit, please like it and share it. I really would appreciate it. Again, I'm Ruth. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.